Welcome back to the SEN WA studio out here at Optus Stadium. A beautiful sunny autumn day in Perth today, building to a top temperature of 29 degrees. The cricket season is ongoing. Sheffield Shield season building to a bit of a climax, actually. There's still 4 or 5 teams that can compete in the Shield final. Western Australia is one of them, but they need a big outcome in their last game against Victoria. They need a few other results to go their way as well. But the great news over the weekend in the game against New South Wales was the return to the team and the return to form of Cameron Bancroft after that massive mid-season injury. Cameron joins us on the show today. Bangers, welcome.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me.
How good was it to be back out there, mate, and back amongst the runs?
Yeah, it was really nice. Obviously a really kind of different sort of few months for me. I haven't really missed too much cricket in my career at all so far with injury. So it was been a different experience, and as the kind of time's gone by, I've the itch comes to really get out there and play again, and absolutely loved being out there with the guys, and we were challenged a little bit this week. Would have loved a better result, but I thought we played some really good cricket. Just shame the outcome didn't go our way we wanted.
Let's go back to that collision in the BBL with Daniel Sams at Optus Stadium as we know it. What do you remember about it?
Yeah, really conscious about everything. Like, I remember the situation of the game and the field. I sort of didn't think. I sort of felt like there was a lot of space between where Daniel Sams and where I was in the field. So, naturally when that ball went up in the air, I just kind of thought it was mine the whole way. And, obviously we, collided with each other, and, probably on impact lost, a little bit of consciousness there, but we're still very aware of, what happened and obviously that we'd run into each other. So, it was just a bizarre kind of experience. My shoulder was a little bit sore straight away, but it wasn't necessarily the thing that was, I guess, important at the time. So, really sickening collision and hard to watch. I haven't really seen it back too many times, look, these things happen in cricket, and just one of those things.
You say these things happen in cricket, but they don't happen very often. It was like, did you play much footy as a junior? Because it was kind of like you both look like, both yourself and Daniel look like, it's my turn to go, I have to go sort of thing. And obviously there is a lot of space out in the cricket field, and you're not anticipating contact like that. But did you play much footy at all as a junior, Cam?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I played footy. Footy growing up. I think it's really interesting. Like, when you're in the stadium like that, and obviously crowds like really loud, and even Ashton Turner was telling me the other day, playing club cricket, he was in a sort of similar kind of situation where was sort of going back with the flight of the ball and had like a mini kind of collision with a fielder, and when the ball goes up in the air and you're 100% focused on just, wanting to do something, catch the ball or whatever, it's amazing how all your other senses just get completely blocked off. And, I guess the situation that, Daniel and I found ourselves in with the crowd and all that sort of stuff, like, it's just near on impossible when you've got that focus, I guess, on one thing, the ball, to then cut it out. And obviously in the AFL and all that, you see so many examples of guys going back to the flight of the ball, and, it's obviously, it's a hard thing to sort of stop. Obviously more prevalent in footy than cricket, but it's just one of those things. But I guess glad in cricket that it doesn't happen as often, as you said.
I promise to move on quickly from the injury. It's probably not your favourite memory out of the season, but obviously we've seen concussion affect a person like Will Pukowski. Is that your first concussion?
No, it's not. I reckon I had one. Well, I got one last year when I...
You did too, I remember. Yes, correct.
The Shield final. So, I think that was sort of part of why the care and the just the patience, I guess, around my recovery a little bit as well from that perspective. Just a couple of concussions in like a 12-month period. The things that we know now about concussion and how it affects your brain and your function and stuff. Being really careful with that. So I feel lucky that I was taken care of. After all that I guess has happened in that space for me over the last 12 months.
So the concussion was the short-term concern, but the longer term was the shoulder. So what needed to be done to correct any problems with the shoulder, and how long have you been back batting in the nets getting ready to play?
So I had a couple of fractures in my scapula. The main probably issue was probably my AC joint. I had a tear in that. So, I mean, I think there's an example in rugby league where Cooper Cronk played like a final or something like that many years ago, and he had a scapular fracture kind of thing. So it's something you can play through, and obviously cricket being a non-contact sport, not as in, the recovery that was always going to take longer, but not impact my function too much with everyday cricket things. So yeah, it's mainly been the AC joint thing, and yeah, I've done the rehab and gone through the process of, trying to lift it up, needing a broomstick to kind of assist me. And then all of a sudden, another week comes by and, I can lift it up unassisted to, maybe my chest, and then, it improves. So it's quite fascinating, really, how the body just, heals itself. And, if you do the right things, how, it kind of shows up. So look, my throwing's not quite 100%. Yet, but, ability to bat and stuff, something I've been doing for probably a month or so now, very slowly with underarms, and then picking my way out to, facing out the hand and then bowlers and stuff. So, it's been a process, but, certainly this game I was, ready to go, which was nice.
I know you a little bit, and I know that some people in sport don't think enough. You're more the other extreme. You're more prone to overthinking a little bit. How did you immerse yourself in your rehab to make sure that the inability to play cricket for a considerable period of time didn't consume you totally?
It was really weird. I kind of enjoyed a little bit in some ways the space to be able to take a step back and just do really simple things for a bit. Obviously, I love playing and being out there and playing cricket, but I've also been really busy with it for the last 18 months or so, playing in the UK and then sort of here. So in some ways, it was a little bit of a break as well. So it was kind of I guess nice to be able to enjoy that for what it was, and then obviously step into the process of trying to get my body right and then get back into the skills and stuff. So I didn't feel like I've been overthinking too much. I think I just really embraced the time for what it was, and accepted my injury and that it was going to take a bit of time, and I guess that it didn't really sort of affect me too much, which was nice.
It was probably in some ways, I mean, there's never a good time to get an injury like that, but it probably was in some ways a little bit timely. It had been a tough start to the season for you, hadn't it? You got two absolute jaffers from Michael Neeser in the first Sheffield Shield match very early on, and then you had a run of outs. So were you able to take a mental break and reset yourself as a batter a little bit?
Yeah, I guess that was a little byproduct of what that injury and I guess what that sort of forced me to be able to do a little bit. These things happen in cricket. Runs come and form comes and goes and sort of stuff like that. Obviously, love to walk out there and I always feel like I should walk out there and score 100 every time I bat. The reality is that doesn't happen. So that's the game of cricket, and no doubt that time's definitely acted as a good little freshen up, hopefully, and so I can just, I guess, use that energy to be able to put into my batting now and my cricket moving forward.
How did you feel during the 86 against New South Wales at the weekend?
I felt like I hadn't played cricket for a little bit. I definitely felt like a very challenging wicket. I felt like I couldn't really drive that well. It was just sort of a pitch where, whenever anyone really did try and drive the ball, it sort of brought in dismissals, etc. So I just tried to, embrace spending some time out there. Let them come to me a little bit more and, be really patient, which I thought Curtis Patterson did really well in the first innings. I thought he set a great blueprint for that. Matt Gilks as well. So, felt really good. And, just felt like the longer I'd be out there, hopefully be able to find a little bit more rhythm. And, didn't quite achieve that, I don't think. But, I think it was certainly really nice to be able to make some runs, face lots of balls. And, hopefully that can, serve me well for the coming games.
Another player in that game, of course, was Sam Constas, who played Test cricket this year. It was a bit of a sensation, and then has probably been, had an interesting run since then, turfed out of the team when they went to Sri Lanka. Does a person like you talk to a person like Sam and offer some advice, given your life experience compared to his, what he's going through at the moment?
Yeah, he's had a whirlwind few months, that's for sure. He's a teammate of mine at the Sydney Thunder as well, so spent some time with him. Obviously, through that period, he was very much well entrenched in the middle of that during the Big Bash period. So, but it's obviously high pressure when you go up to that next level, and everything that kind of comes with it. It's also something you just something to be experienced, I guess, as a player, and he's definitely living through that at the moment. And you can kind of see, obviously, he's sort of going through his game and I guess working through all those sorts of things. But I'm always here for players, always there for him. He was really interested in asking questions and stuff during the Big Bash and all that sort of stuff. But he's obviously a talented cricketer, and it's definitely been on show this summer, that's for sure.
So are you, Cam, and never forget that. You've got one game to go. It's against the Vicks. You need a big win, and you need a few other results to go your way. What's the atmosphere around the team at the moment?
I think everyone's just really keen to, just to get out there and get the job done. It's obviously nice going into this game that we have a lot to play for. That's a nice feeling getting to the end of the season. And I think this week was really nice. In fact, the last two games we've been outstanding up in Brisbane. Obviously didn't get the result this week. We've been playing some good cricket, and I think we just got to keep remembering that and keep dialing into those good things. Our first innings probably let us down a little bit this game, but hopefully we can just keep learning from those lessons and go out there and put a good performance on the board. I think every West Australian loves beating Victoria, so we look forward to hopefully getting that done, and everything else hopefully takes care of itself and we get into a Shield final. But all we can focus on is just playing a good game of cricket. So we'll do that, and hopefully the powers that be will work in our favour.
Yeah, well, I think if we remember going back to this time last year, it looked like we weren't going to host the final, and then suddenly we were. So a lot can change. There's a lot can change in that last round. You mentioned that it wasn't a deck you could drive much on. Has the nature of the WACA pitch changed a little bit this summer?
I think it's changed over the last few years for sure. Definitely. The pitches at the WACA are a lot more sporting from a bowling perspective, and that's something we've been really aware of, and it obviously really challenges your technique, it challenges your decision making, and I think as a batting group we just back ourselves hopefully to try and be better than the opposition in those conditions. It's really different, it's really foreign, but over the last few years, it's brought us a lot of success as a team. So, the nature of that as well is that, you might also lose wickets and find themselves in situations a bit kind of, I guess, like that South Australia game was a couple of weeks ago. But, I think over the last few years, we've sort of shown we've probably been better. And I think that's just something we accept as a team that we're going to get. Hopefully we can be good again on those conditions this week.
Cameron, congratulations on the 86 at the weekend. It's great to see you back playing. It's great to see you making runs again, and hopefully there's a couple of more big innings at least in you before the end of the season. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks, mate.